Newcastle United fans will need a bit of a pick-me-up, of course, today. They lost 2-1 to Barcelona at St James's Park. And they lost because Marcus Rashford became the best player in the world.
Because Marcus Rashford's Manchester United serum finally wore off. It wore off, Vish, didn't it? It's now flushed out of his system entirely.
Is there any argument, Luke, for Man United to try and get him back at the club?
They were probably watching that and being like, oh, he's a good player.
Yeah. Oh, making note of him. Wonder where he's come from.
That's right.
My brother was at this game yesterday.
He's a Newcastle United
He's
fan.
a Newcastle United fan, and as is the way with people's relationships with their brothers, ours is purely based on taking the piss out of one another. Very much been one way for a long time.
Yeah.
And I didn't even get to enjoy that, his team losing, getting run out of Dodge in their own backyard, because the proponent of that was one of our players who we thought wasn't good enough. And my brother often sends me memes whenever Manchester United lose, and I think he was in a bit of disarray yesterday because the only meme he sent me was of Obama as LeBron James in 2018 when Donald Trump repeals the 22nd Amendment. So he was in disarray, I was in disarray. No one really got to enjoy it, but I did, hand on heart, love seeing Rashford back to that kind of form.
I did too. I also would just chuck in there, if I may, that losing 2-1 to Barcelona in the Champions League in quite a ding-dong affair is quite some distance away from where Man United are at the moment.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to know that. He was too pissed.
Yeah, fair enough.
He doesn't need to know that.
But
Thomas Tuchel was in attendance.
Didn't seem to celebrate the Rashford second one.
Yeah.
A hard heart indeed to stay in your seat when that one flew in.
I think he was stunned. I mean, the header was fantastic. Great header.
Yes, it was.
So you can't forget that. But of course, you're tempted to move straight onto that second goal. So great header. Give him all the props in the world for that. But my goodness, we've seen Rashford hit them before. We know he's got a hell of a shot on him. But the technique, that absolutely flew in.
It's also
kissed the bar on the way in as well.
Which is a beauty.
Gorgeous.
It's also such an instinctive goal. It's like, I'm going to do what I naturally like doing.
I'm enjoying myself.
And I think that comes from someone enjoying football, right? It was a brilliant goal. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, you can't help but have like a wry smile about it when you know the origin story of why he's even at Barcelona. Yeah. It's just unbelievable.
Someone made this point the other day, actually before this game, that Marcus Rashford is the best player currently contracted at Manchester United.
Yeah, and those two goals are the same amount of goals Man United have scored all season in the league.
I didn't hear that one.
But I wouldn't want you to miss out on any of them.
Did you see with the goal as well that before it goes in, Lewandowski starts celebrating?
Does he?
Yes,
nice.
I did see that.
Robert Lewandowski starts celebrating.
Yeah.
I think the other thing about it...
Do you think that's just because he's like, oh yes, he's got his confidence back. He's got it. That's a double
pass
whammy.
It. Oh, fair. Yeah. The thing I thought about Rashford, but you didn't really know, was whether he would be regarded as like a big-time X-Factor player at other clubs.
Yes.
And at Aston Villa, I thought there was a sense of they were quite happy to have someone of
Rashford's
stature.
Bit of that, yeah.
But with Barcelona, because of the lineage of forward players that they've had, I did think, maybe his, whatever honeymoon period there was would be shorter, because they'd be like, right, well, if this doesn't work, we'll just get the other one.
And is he going to play that much because of Rafinha and Lamine Yamal, of course?
Yeah, but then because he has a moment like that where even the first goal, Buster gets to get there, it's recycled, and he stays in the box. Lewandowski's on the left of the box when Rashford bursts through the middle and then stays in the middle. But that goal and that reaction from some exceptional players was a lovely moment of... He is surrounded by much better players in, weirdly, a much better place despite the state of Barcelona as a football club.
Yes.
And thriving and being put on a pedestal. And
but it felt like he was one of them, didn't it? When he did that. And there was a bit of that. I mean, glowing comments from Rashford about Barcelona, of course, as you'd imagine, especially after that game. But he was saying, I hope to play here many more seasons. Hansi Flick himself said, when we had the option to bring him in, it was a no-brainer.
Right.
So they all seem to be singing from the same hymn sheet. If he keeps this up, we shall see him. And they have an option of 26 million to buy him at the end of the season. I mean, his contract with Man United will have another couple of years come the end of the season. So, we're sort of looking far too far ahead in the future. But it all bodes well for Marcus Rashford. and England, because Tommy Tuchel was there.
Were you waiting for that? What did you have? Did you have 9 minutes on the clock?
I just can't zone it out, Vish. Right. No, I know it's coming. The first thing he said was Thomas Tuchel. Literally the first thing he said.
It wasn't the first thing.
Well, you are contractually obliged to do the intro.
Contractually obliged. It's a passionate thing. It's nothing to do with contracts and so on.
The intro is very fast today. And he did it in one. Yeah. I should tell people he did it in the first take as well.
I always do. The
categorically untrue.
9 times out of 10. Unless one of you mess it up. My contract with England is until I die, mate.
Yeah, I know. I heard you chanting it last weekend. Do you know what? To go back to the game, and we can talk about Barcelona, and clearly Rashford is coming out of a frying pan of a massive club and all the scrutiny into the fire of another massive club who've got their own problems, and you're right to point that out. But there probably will be an inspirational factor to him playing there. He will probably feel fortunate to be there, despite the stuff he'll say, because of the issues that he's had. Not all of which are his fault, of course. But I think that it felt to me watching that performance, a couple of things. One is that you go to Newcastle and the fans there make it an occasion because the crowd are incredible, and it's had some quite cultish history around the Champions League.
Tino Asprilla was in attendance,
for example. But also, what do TNT Sports do in the build-up? They show a long half-an-hour extended highlights of the 3-2 Barcelona game from 97-98, where Asprilla scores a hat-trick, right?
They didn't have us on like they did last time.
They should have. That's why they let them. That's maybe why they didn't win. Yeah, because last time they won 4-1 against PSG.
We were there. Yeah? We were a part of the little intro bit.
But the point I wanted to make was that he's also clearly relishing the big occasion and wanting to have a huge impact and really earn his salt being there. I thought the game was a really interesting game. You can't help but feel like it's an event when Newcastle play in the Champions League, particularly at home.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just the generation we are, but it's...
Well, the city would be consumed with it all. And so they were really looking forward to it. You saw the tifos and all the rest of it around the stadium.
Yeah, that's it.
And they started... I mean, there's no shame in losing by the odd goal to Barcelona.
No.
But they get, on another day... I mean, Anthony Gordon was up front.
That was quite a fluky finish for his goal as well. You watched a replay.
A little bit, because he has a chance.
The early miss was...
Yeah, and he's just taken his eye off the ball. But it's a very tough game. There's not many tougher games that they'll face in the Champions League this season, of course. So, yeah.
Mad thing to think that the only reason Marcus Rashford is basically playing and starting the game is because Lamine Yamal came back from international duty with a pubic injury.
Yes.
Yeah.
18-year-old with a pubic injury. It's odd. Needs further investigation, in my view.
I think it does.
I think all the investigation has been done.
Yeah,
certainly by us.
Exactly. Yeah, we heard about his.
I wasn't volunteering for the job.
Yeah,
should be a qualified professional.
We heard about the stuff about his 18th birthday party.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to
I
know
forgot
anymore.
About that actually. That was back in July. Wasn't it?
Let's leave it all alone. I reckon. But yeah, a loss for Newcastle United, and that was despite Barcelona staying right next to a Wetherspoons. Apparently.
Yeah, they were.
Was it the same one that Tonali went to?
I don't know. Quite possibly. I do not know though, Vish.
They were staying right in the mix. I mean, do you know De Campo's restaurant's right next door?
Yep. Do you think they stayed next to a Wetherspoons because Wetherspoons famously don't play any music?
Could be.
So I did not know that.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. I mean, there are some exceptions to that. It's been a long time since I've been at Wetherspoons.
Oh, there are exceptions.
But generally speaking, I think they part of the overhead's limitation.
And the end of the barrel.
They don't pay for the license for the music and stuff.
Also, the end.
Do you have to pay for a license to play music in a pub?
Of course you do.
Yeah.
What?
You have to pay. You'd be amazed.
It's just like speakers.
If I start singing a song now, it'll be so.
I know that's
accurate
different, isn't it? We're not going to a pub and Thursday night, 18th of September. Let's put that CD out from that fucking Wetherspoons.
You need a PRS license for that stuff, mate.
That's why I didn't sing that Earth, Wind and Fire intro, because if I got it too right, we'd have to pay the license.
Yeah.
It's not happened so far, but
yeah.
But
you're the one keeping the Mandela family in clover, are you?
Well, that is contractual.
10-minute walk to the nearest Greggs on the big market as well for the Barcelona lads. If they wanted a celebration after the game.
We were in that neck of the woods.
24 hours. Greggs, it's a 24-hour one.
24 hours.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
What a place.
Yeah, I don't know whether that's actually true or not. A quick Google Maps will tell you that, I would imagine.
But look, in summary for this game, it was a great game, enjoyable. It didn't quite match up to the 97-98 game because that had an Asprilla hat-trick, Rob Lee, Keith Gillespie, Pierluigi Collina refereeing. It was a pretty good tribute.
It was, yeah. Nick Voltemada was left on the bench though.
See, Eddie Howe said before the game, he said Nick has had quite the introduction to the Premier League. He was completely cramped up and blowing after 50 minutes in his debut, so we couldn't start him today.
There you are, you see. There are the reasons why.
Welcome to the big league, son.
Damn right. Newcastle away in Bournemouth on Sunday.
Lovely trip for them.
Lovely trip for them, yeah. I mean, if the weather's as nice as it is today
Get
on
the sand
Sunday,
between your toes.
which I don't think it will be, yeah, exactly. Sand between the toes would be on offer. Bournemouth, of course, gubbed Newcastle at St James's Park last season. So
was it a gubbing officially?
4-1.
Bloody hell! What a gubbing that is.
I'm pretty sure it was 4-1. It was. They certainly hammered them.
I can't remember.
Yeah, we shall see. They need to get back on the Premier League wagon.
They absolutely will.
Well, to be fair, they've been on the Premier League wagon. They need to get back on the wagon in general. And I wonder if Big Nick will start up front for them. Now, I want to go to Club Brugge for Monaco 1 in the Champions League. That happened as well. Monaco, of course, they all got nude, didn't they? Or at least semi-naked on their flight over.
They did a tribute to the 90s, late 90s classic, possibly early 2000s classic road trip by having a plane trip where they all took their clothes off.
Right.
Because they were hot.
Yes.
Which was incredible.
There was a problem with it. Yeah, you mentioned it yesterday. There was a problem with the air conditioning, so they all started getting a bit nude.
I was saying to the lads yesterday, I'd be quite self-conscious about it if I was on that flight.
Yes.
And all these like 20-something lads who were ripped start taking their tops off. Yeah.
Simon Mignolet had an incredible 17 minutes in that game. He gave away a penalty, then saved the penalty, then got a yellow card for celebrating in the referee's face, and then he went off with a groin injury. Not immediately after. That would have been something if he'd have done the groin injury, as he was slagging off.
It's incredible. So you're also not even doing it justice because he gives away the penalty, which under UEFA Champions League regulations is checked by VAR and given.
Yeah.
He saves the penalty that even though he knows that the penalty has been checked and is a penalty, he runs about 10 yards throwing hands in the direction of the referee.
Yeah. It was a bookable offence, definitely.
Yeah, because presumably he's like, well, I've saved that now, so what are you going to do now, ref? It's like, well, the ref's like, well, nothing. I'm not going to do anything. Yeah, I can't give another penalty. I thought he was very lucky to stay on the pitch, actually.
Yeah, the referee's going to say, well, I'm going to make you away for 30 quid. There's a yellow card.
There's a yellow. Is that still the fine, is it?
It certainly was in the Leatherhead District League.
When I played back in the day...
I only ever got one booking in my whole career.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, Lineker.
And it was a deliberate handball, but like it was a weird involuntary one where someone played the ball down the line and I stuck out a hand and pulled it away going, what have I just done that for?
I only got one yellow as well, actually, playing football.
Was yours verbal abuse?
No, mine was kicking the ball away. Yeah.
Oh, petulant.
After being called offside, kick the ball away.
Yeah, Luke's had a few. Sergio Ramos at the end of the table
I've had a few, to be fair. Yeah. We used to get, when I played, we used to get, the club would pay the fines unless it was for dissent, then you had to pay it yourself.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite nice.
I ended up paying quite a lot myself.
Yeah. You had a tab.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, good win for Club Brugge. Sad return to the Champions League for Eric Dyer. Hopefully things can improve for him.
But good news for him is that Thomas Tuchel wasn't there.
No.
so he might not hear about it.
Yeah, word won't get to him.
Yeah.
What's Eric done? He's taking his top off, has he?
Come down and watch us.
He's always doing that.
Come down and watch us in Monaco. You'll love it. It's a beautiful climate down here. You will absolutely love it.
I say, if I was the England manager going to games, you wouldn't get me out of Monaco.
Yeah.
There's not even a game here this weekend. Oh, no. Yeah.
They take contactless. They only take contactless. Right, okay.
The FA probably don't give them a card.
I would have thought so. Now, did you see that Kairat, the team from Kazakhstan, have been turning a few heads in the Champions League? Just merely people going, sorry, who are they? Well, blimey, they're from there. Well, a small group of fans made the 6,900-kilometre journey from Kazakhstan to see their side lose 4-1 at Sporting, which, of course, is in Lisbon, which is why we affectionately call them Sporting Lisbon. They did score. They got gubbed, but they scored their first ever Champions League goal. So that near 7,000-kilometre trip was worth it, Vish, you have to say. Yeah,
you might as well stick around in mainland Europe then for the next round.
I'd say so.
I was thinking that these kind of distances involved and the small amount of fans that that want to make the trip, just stick them on the plane with the players. I mean, what's the point of not doing that? I mean, presumably they're not making them make their own way there.
Help them out.
100%.
Maybe they are.
Nice feel-good story.
Yeah, and if the air conditioning goes, then
everyone gets naked.
You get to see your heroes with the tops off.
Samuel L. Jackson said, "So many snakes on this goddamn plane."
Well, I don't know if it went that far. Right, coming up after this, Kevin De Bruyne's return to Manchester City doesn't quite go to plan.
Let's not take the piss here.
I certainly wasn't.
Well, I think you are.
Welcome back to the Football Ramble, everybody. Manchester City 2, Napoli 0. Erling Haaland scored. Of course he bloody did. It was his 50th Champions League goal and his 49th Champions League game.
Yeah.
And he's done this in 13 games fewer than the previous record holder, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
It's quite some feat, this.
He is a monster. An absolute monster of a man.
Bear in mind, you're rubbing along at over a goal a game at what is generally... which is... generally accepted to be the highest standard of football you can get.
Yeah.
That tells its own story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I haven't seen the profile of the clubs he scored them all against, but I mean...
But they haven't all come for Man City.
No, quite. Yeah. Exactly, yeah, absolutely.
Incredible.
Amazing effort. I mean,
and it was a lovely goal as well.
It was, but the pick of the goals was Doku's.
Yeah, but I want to talk about the Foden assist.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, lovely.
I mean, Foden looks back to his best. Well, okay,
he's back in business. I mean,
back to his best is the best player in the Premier League, technically, because he...
You know those signs you have on the shop doors where you flip them around if it's open?
Easy.
He should have one of them around his neck, and he should have just... That celebration for that Haaland goal, he should have flicked it around so it went open.
Yeah.
Come on in.
I'd prefer open for business.
Open for business, yeah. That'd be nice.
He does look like he's got the bit between his teeth, old Phil Foden, which is great for Man City and England.
Yeah.
Of course, there was a sending...
Just punch him. I can't reach him.
I just can't.
Oh, suddenly we don't care about our country, do we? Right. Kevin De Bruyne was subbed off after 20...
paint one flag on a roundabout.
Yeah.
Do you know what? When they... I don't know if you saw that one when somebody painted like the Battenberg cake colours over it.
Yes.
I thought... My England.
That was one of those.
England. Do you know what I thought to myself? I thought, we've got our country back.
Yeah. And that's
not a pride flag, is it? No, it's Battenberg.
It was. Somebody was doing that.
We saw it at the same time, and I said to Marcus, all right, come down from that lamppost, have a look at this. I said, it looks like there's 3 million people over there.
Stop wringing Vish's neck and come here.
Oi!
No, to be fair, you had kicked off.
It was a headlock.
I did deserve that.
I tell you what, that is a beautiful British activity, a headlock. You don't see him anymore.
A noogie, or is that too American?
American.
Yeah. Okay, headlock's fine.
A headlock's universal, though, surely.
A lot failed about our society, and we stopped just doing common or garden, nothing vicious headlocks. Until the person calmed down.
And then walking along with them a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Just to demean him a bit.
I think
I'm speaking about it from a different side, really, but yeah. The people did used to do
You've dished out your fair amount of headlocks in your time, Vish.
I don't think I have, actually.
You can't reach, can you? Can't reach.
You can give me a headlock after the show. How about that? Now, Kevin De Bruyne subbed off after 26 minutes following Giovanni Di Lorenzo's red card.
That was a shame, that.
It was a definite red card.
I thought it was a tribute to John Terry. Do you remember John Terry's last game?
Exactly the same minute.
That would have been great. Well, Antonio Conte, he said he was sorry he had to sub Kevin De Bruyne off.
It was such a shame to the point where Antonio Conte did an apology.
He was
showed sarcastically, or clapping at the same time.
Ever so slightly remorseful, but he was like, it was a substitution I had to make. And I was like, I mean, surely if you're down to 10, having someone of De Bruyne's experience and quality, I mean, he'll have his tactical reasons.
I suppose like Lobotka can do a lot of the stuff that De Bruyne does.
Do you think he's thinking about the legs?
And then McTominay's got the legs, obviously. Yeah, I think that's a shame.
It was a real shame because I was thinking to myself when I saw the build-up, the Man City fans bring out the King Kev tifo, and you see De Bruyne before the game showing the players, other Napoli players around the stadium and stuff. It's quite rare you'd see some home fans with a previous visiting player getting that kind of treatment. So I thought it was a really unfitting kind of end to his night. And like I say, if Conte's even apologising, it must be regretful.
Yeah, very much so.
His apologies are normally, presumably, when he's like stamping on someone's chest, going, "This hurts me more than it hurts you. I'm sorry to do this." But he's incredibly violent at the same time.
I think Rasmus Højlund would have been happy to come off in the 26th minute. Do you know what? I don't need this abuse.
That's why I left. We don't want to play these.
But it was good. Rasmus Højlund's playing in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Based on
last night, kind of.
No, they can't base last night. Man City, despite what I said last season, they're still a good team. And it's a very tough place to go. So, and they go down to 10 men. So you can't really judge it on that too much. But again, it's just another reminder of what you can do once you leave Manchester United.
The Doku goal was beauty, man. Come on.
It was a great one. He wriggled his way. He is Thierry Henry.
Probably European football's best wriggler.
Ooh.
Got to be up there. Has to be up there.
Oh, you've thrown that at me. I need to have a think about that. But Thierry Henry spoke about this on the Overlap, didn't he? About working specifically with Doku at Belgium, and he was saying he was trying to say, get end products, just be more direct. You can do all the step overs in the world, but if you don't get a cross in or you don't get the shot away, be more efficient, essentially. And I would say that, he probably said that a little while ago to Doku, of course. But I wonder if this season, a little bit more time under Guardiola, who can improve players, especially wide players who are very pacey and maybe lack a little bit of end product, as we saw with Raheem Sterling many years ago. Doku looks like he's on course to become one of those guys where you think, bloody, he's such a weapon. He already was, but if you get that end product in there with the assists and even the goals, he's a frightening prospect.
Yeah, he is. I always think with him, though, and I still think this, even after last night, that he needs exposure to loads of different types of scenarios to work more on his problem solving. And I'm not griping about the quality of the goal he scored yesterday, but if you look at it, when he comes onto the ball, he can side foot it into the far corner with his right foot, and he chooses not to do that.
Yeah.
I think because he has a set play in his head of like, take it to one side, step over, touch forward, bang.
Yes.
And every time I watch him and he's in space, including during the Manchester derby where he wriggles away and it works perfectly when he gets past Luke Shaw, I feel like he's really applying like cookie cutter skills on the field, and I think he just needs to be a bit more instinctive, and I think that just comes from further exposure to those different situations, which he might get now at City because he's not exclusively playing on the left. Even that goal yesterday, he's a bit more inside, he's on the edge of the box, he's getting in the box, it feels like he's getting in the box a bit more, certainly centrally. But yeah, like incredible feat, obviously. There is so much to work with there that it wouldn't be a surprise if, I don't know, in a couple of months' time, suddenly he's just stratospheric.
Yes.
I
definitely.
But the problem with the only counter argument to that, though, is that, if you're going to talk about Doku in this way, you have to talk about the fact that he doesn't consistently start games. Like, if you look at his numbers, if you look at, say, Adama Traore's numbers, who's not a similar player necessarily in aesthetic, but positionally similar.
Yeah.
Like, his numbers are diabolical, right? Doku's numbers are better than Traore's, and Doku really hasn't ever really consistently started games at Man City. Last season, I think he started 18, came off the bench 11 times or something like that. You've got to give him a little bit of credit for that, because it's hard to get into games sometimes, particularly because you don't know always consistently what situation you're being subbed into.
Yes.
But he started a lot of those games up front, didn't he? They were all together. And then I suppose as Marcus said, because his end product wasn't as great, or certainly wasn't what Guardiola wanted, then he took him out and started using more as an impact player.
But I think that's why we're seeing the improvement this season. You're right to say that, Luke, but he's at Man City, and you know how much they kind of rotate and how many good players
so maybe it's just part of doing business when you're a City player.
Well, indeed, yeah. And I think that also as well, Guardiola tends not to just shove a young player in there and go, right, often, right. How long did it take, say, Phil Foden to, he was really drip feeding him in, and we were all going, come on, play it more, so I think with Doku, the improvement's there, and as Vish says, maybe in a couple of months, or maybe towards the end of the season, I don't know. It certainly at some point in the future, I think he really could become a very important player for them. The way he's playing. Will he start against Arsenal on Sunday? That is not the big question, but it's a question that Mikel Arteta will be trying to figure out, because they, of course, go to the Emirates Stadium Sunday, 4:30 p.m. is the kickoff time. Arsenal gubbed them 5-1 in that fixture last year. And it's, if you remember last season, they played each other fairly early on in the season. Arsenal, it felt like, were they inferior? They went down to 10 men and obviously just did that very noteworthy, I'll say, defensive performance in the second half where they nearly clung on, and I think John Stones got the equaliser. But going into this game, I'm tempted to say I would have Arsenal as slight favourites. Do you think that's fair? Or do you think you think that would be okay?
Well, this fixture last season, Arsenal smashed them.
Well, indeed, 5-1, as I said. But
that fixture in particular felt more like, exclusively about revenge, because even when they won, it moves them 6 points behind Liverpool, and Liverpool have a game in hand.
Yeah.
So the league wasn't quite lost, but they required snookers to get anywhere close to Liverpool, and this is a chance to, I suppose, exact a little bit more revenge, but also make a bit of a statement, because I feel like we've seen functional Arsenal, and we're waiting for oh shit, maybe they are doing something now to I suppose overcome that final hurdle. Mm-hmm. And I think they can do it this weekend. And I agree with you. I think they are favourites.
Yeah. Luke, Man City have started the season a bit better, as we all know, and Pep Guardiola was purring after the Napoli game, saying, there's a different feeling amongst us, and whatnot. It's a huge game, this, and this is the game, Luke, where I want to see more from Arsenal. I understand away to Anfield, it was a very nip and tuck. The only goal is a beauty. I felt I just want to see a little bit more from Arsenal.
Yeah, but Arsenal showed no ambition in that game.
Well, exactly, and
Jim pushed back, didn't he, and said that at home Arsenal do show a lot more ambition, and they've been good at home so far this season.
But even away to Old Trafford on the first day, fine, they won the game. It's the first game of the season, early days, etc., etc., etc. But I still I was saying that Gyökeres has got goals against lesser opposition. Arsenal have had some good wins. I know Forest are a good side, but Arsenal, under Ange, coming in his first game and whatnot, you expect them to win and win fairly comfortably, which they did, and they get credit for that. But it's these games where if Arsenal want to win the league, they have to show a bit more, I think.
Yeah, and the complexion of the game last season between these two teams at the Emirates was interesting because Arsenal went ahead early. Then they missed a load of chances, a load of dominating of the ball and all this kind of stuff. And then the feeling, I was at the game, and the feeling was that they need to make this count.
But Man City were there to be taken. They were in that funny...
But they were, I just want to explain the complexion of the game, what I'm talking about, because then Haaland equalised, and the feeling in the stadium was like, that's so annoying because we should have scored a second and we didn't. And then they just went through the gears and City had no answers.
Yes.
City then became really sloppy and Arsenal destroyed them. And I don't know if you remember, there was that whole kind of mocking the Haaland celebration as well.
Doing Miles Lewis Skelly.
Very enjoyable.
So there might be a bit of needle left over from that. I think we'll find a lot out about both teams because the Arsenal have looked good at home this season, as I've said. They whooped Leeds.
Yep.
You'd expect them to do that. They beat Nottingham Forest. You'd expect them to do that.
Yep. What
do we expect here? The answer is we don't know.
Yeah.
Like I say, we'll find out quite a lot about both teams here. It's a really interesting interview with Man United midfielder ex-Man United midfielder Brian Robson. Did you read this?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Where it was funny because he was asked about who he thinks the best player in the Premier League is, and he said Martin Odegaard, which is odd. And then in the same interview, he compared himself to a combination of Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice, and Rodri.
Yeah.
I mean,
which I thought was an incredible amount of hubris.
Yeah,
I know Robson was a brilliant player.
Yeah,
but maybe he relates to Odegaard because he also had a series of crippling shoulder injuries himself.
Maybe did he not say though later on in his career he did a more sort of Rodri role, shielding the back four?
I mean, it was one answer to one question about something quite different, and he managed to get all those players in talking about himself.
Well, a skilled interviewee, clearly.
Do you think it's outlandish that he labelled Odegaard as one of the best players in the league?
He said at the moment for him, Odegaard is the best player in the Premier League, which is just categorically not true.
Yeah, fair.
Which is clearly not true.
I mean, for him, it's true, but yeah, all right.
Okay, well, obviously there's no objective truth in that subject.
Yeah, right.
But the point is, if I said, for example, down this camera now, Martin Odegaard is the best player in the Premier League right here, right now.
Clip that.
I'll get a lot of shit in the comments you watch.
Right.
There we go.
Well,
it's a little litmus test for you, isn't it? And I don't even have the reputation of Brian Robson, do I?
No. And Brian Robson's got a burner account on YouTube. He says some hateful things, actually.
Oh dear.
He doesn't do that.
No,
Brian Robson does not have a burner account on YouTube. He might have a burner account on YouTube and he might say some terrible things.
We don't know that.
We don't know.
Yeah, but we're not saying he does.
Or doesn't.
Well, yes.
We're neutral on that specific issue.
Unlike Brian Robson.
So Arsenal, Man City. I mean, I keep going on about I want to see a little bit more from Arsenal. I think almost so as well that, again, in that 5-1, they proved that they could show their dominance. And again, Man City were in a bit of a funny period. So, but what was great when
they showed a bit of emotion, didn't they?
Yes. And
like, Arsenal are angry.
Yeah. And almost a bit like that first leg against Real Madrid as well. I know that the two goals come from set pieces, but they still go in and they get the third, which was crucial to really kill off the tie. But I think sometimes I almost sort of want to say to Arsenal, you're better than sometimes your tactical approach may suggest.
It feels like they are, over the last few seasons, they've been pace setters in a marathon, in that it's an incredibly impressive thing to do, but if you finish ahead of them, you've got a personal best or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's almost the kind of bridesmaids thing, isn't it? It's just like, I'm with you. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but the number of times I watch them and I'm impressed by them, and I still think, but you can do more than this.
Yeah.
Like there's so much more attacking verve now, and maybe only it's now actually with the reinforcements, as we spoke about on Wednesday actually after the Champions League game. That like.
Which again was
maybe
impressive.
maybe only really now is a time that they would just feel, Arteta in particular would feel comfortable flexing.
Yeah, we want to see a
I
flex.
mean, they also last season it's harsh, isn't it? Because they were good, but they dropped off in terms of points gained last season. You know, they categorically drew far too many games.
Yeah.
They drew 14 games,
And subconsciously, they may well have started to prioritise the Champions League as it sort of was
I think there's no doubt about that.
I agree, but it's a frustrating thing because. Can they really afford to do that in their position, or do you just think because the way the chips fell, they thought this is what we've got to do?
Well, no, totally. Yeah, I think that's probably what it was, even if it was subconscious. But look, it's going to be a big game on Sunday, no doubt about that. Now, Arsenal loanee Alexander Zinchenko played the full 90 minutes in Nottingham Forest's League Cup defeat to Swansea during the week.
It's quite a damning like the way you started that was like Arsenal might be gutted they let him go, but as the sentence transpired, it became clear that was absolutely not going to be the case.
Didn't Zinchenko listening to this be like, why has Marcus used me as a link to this?
It seemed like the perfect man to do it. Well, Forest, of course, travel to Burnley this weekend as Big Ange Postecoglou tries to get his first win as Nottingham Forest manager. They've had 2 games now. Ange promised that his team would start seeing his influence as early as Wednesday's match against Swansea. They scored goals, they lost the game.
It's another
conceded very late.
Yeah, it's another add to the collection of ridiculous things that Ange Postecoglou simply refuses to stop doing that brings a lot of pressure on himself. Like he said, it was the way he said it as well.
Yeah.
He was like he was having a dig at other managers for making excuses because it takes months for the players to understand their philosophy. And he goes, and the players will know my philosophy on Wednesday. Not in months, not in weeks, on Wednesday. Yeah. Bang! Lost to lower league opposition.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
The quote was, it won't be months, it won't be weeks, it will be Wednesday. Yeah, it's exactly what you just said there.
Right, this is how we do things around here.
Yep.
We have do whatever we fucking want, score a couple of goals, and then we lose the game, okay?
Did you win or lose?
I don't want to see anyone deviate from that.
As long as we score.
And then when you lose, you say, it's who we are, mate. Europa League reigning champion manager, though.
Have a bit of respect.
Vish, show some respect for him.
Ash is here, actually. I have no respect for him. But I will come February 2026.
Yeah, you reckon?
5? 6, yeah.
Yeah, 5 now.
Yeah,
that's
We're
it.
in 2025 at the moment.
Okay, good.
Okay,
well, how old am I? So that makes me 39.
Yeah.
Right. Good.
Oh, it's a big 4-0 next year.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
I know.
Yeah.
It is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. All right.
Don't look at me like that.
What?
I'm not going to take my top off.
I just wonder. I hope that you've got enough room for everybody at your party. Coming up after this.
Very rich coming from you, fella.
What's that?
Stag do. Move on.
Didn't really have one.
Well, you certainly didn't as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
After all the things I've done for you.
It was not nearly as boozy as you demanded.
I didn't get an invite either.
Yeah.
Should we do this on Uncut next week?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Coming up after this, Jose Mourinho is back in the dugout, but not at Rangers. Oh, hello. It's the Merseyside derby tomorrow at 12:30. Liverpool hosting David Moyes' Everton.
Lovely start to the weekend.
Well, that's just what you want, isn't it? A friendly start to the Premier League's fixtures, of course, this weekend. Liverpool, top of the table. 4 wins from 4.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. They got that win midweek, upsetting Diego Simeone in the process. And
easily done, isn't it? Just by scoring a goal. Easily done, isn't it?
As you said, that bald bloke in the crowd got Diego Simeone sent off, essentially.
I mean, it was incredible.
Surely Simeone, when he calms down, should reflect on that and go, fair play.
Yeah, but he hasn't calmed down. Because did you see the press conference afterwards as well?
I mean, that was straight after.
He just got up and walked off, didn't he?
Yeah.
But those of you who haven't seen the fallout to this story, many people listening would have seen Diego Simeone getting sent off late because Virgil van Dijk scored a last-minute header to win the game after Atletico Madrid kind of battled really hard to get back into it. He was annoyed. Fine, get that. While all the other Liverpool fans presumably were celebrating a great winner, this one guy who has been previously banned from Anfield for 3 years for abusing a disabled woman at a charity game, right?
What did she do?
Yeah, okay, we don't know, Vish.
At a charity game?
We're not sure. Yeah, Steven Gerrard's like testimonial.
Like,
something.
do you know what I mean? It's like it gets worse. It gets worse.
It gets worse.
I can't. No.
Yeah,
that's it. This is the full house, isn't it?
And then, so some people were interested as to what he may have said to get Diego Simeone riled up, which wasn't the angle I was going for because he's always wound up.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy gets head loss all the time.
Yes.
But then it meant this guy, this fan who did this thing, released a video where he sat in his car talking about the stuff he didn't do to wind Simeone up because he was worried that his impeccable reputation was going to be smeared somehow. Yeah. And he just starts the video by going, well, I didn't mention the Falklands. So, well, no, I think you did mention him. Now, the first thing I'm thinking is you did mention the Falklands.
And that would have been a really good thing to mention as well. You should have said that.
I mentioned it once and I thought I got away with it.
Yeah, which made me think that he's planned that.
Yeah.
If Liverpool score a winner, he's planned that.
That's right.
And it's not even the biggest confrontation around Liverpool based on the Ramble this week because Pete has taken up arms just confusingly against Virgil van Dijk.
That's right.
Not sure why.
What has he done now?
He just keeps saying that
he's old and he's past it.
Yeah,
stuff,
which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, he's older.
Yeah.
Liverpool fans in the YouTube comments have taken it well.
Yeah.
I saw one this morning that said from the impeccably named Clipboard Keith, who has said the following. Pete needs an hour-long cry in the bathroom. Every time I watch this, I can never hear what he says because he keeps covering the microphone with his tears.
Oh.
Why does he keep watching it?
He does cry in the bathroom a lot, though.
I think so, yeah.
Even at work.
He's not crying in there.
So yes,
an amazing week in football.
But the Liverpool fan who said that did say that Diego Simeone and some of the Atleti coaching staff and whatnot gave it the big one to them when they equalised. So he basically was just like, middle fingers up and so on. I mean, it just, I wonder if that fan can rile up David Moyes though. Tomorrow, if they score.
I'm not sure he'll be allowed back in the stadium, will it? David Moyes will. I'm not sure if this guy will be allowed back in the stadium.
I didn't mention the River Styx. There's no reason for him to get riled.
I didn't mention that your ferry boat's got a leak in it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. David Moyes has young Jack Grealish in his ranks, of course. Named the Premier League's Player of the Month last week. Surely a recall for England soon.
No,
look.
Every single section.
What?
You've mentioned England.
Didn't mention this with... did I mention? I think I did with Eric Dyer, actually. Well, anyway, look...
Why else would we have talked about Eric Dyer?
Because he got his top off on a plane. Yeah. All right? Now, anyway, Everton and Grealish are going there. It does feel like it's a little bit better, more balanced, this game. Obviously, Liverpool are favourites, for crying out loud. But it feels like Everton have a little bit more of a chance. How many times have we seen them go to Anfield? It's a battling display and they lose. And it happened last time round under Moyes when I think they lost 2-0. And was it Beto who ran through and hit the post? And they in the first half they showed a bit, and then of course Liverpool's quality shined through. There's a good feeling among Everton. I'm not suggesting they are going to win the game because again they are second favourites clearly. But I just feel
second favourites. Nice way of putting it. Isn't
lovely.
It?
Look, silver medals up for grabs in this game. But
in a 3-horse race, you could also say they're rank outsiders, couldn't you?
But I just, you understand what I mean, though. I think Everton there'll be a little hint of quiet.
There's a lovely bit of needle when they played last season as well.
Yes.
Remember Decore getting right up amongst Liverpool fans?
Yeah.
Where was this fella then?
Well, Simeone was picking up where he left off, clearly.
I know what you're getting at, and I think Everton have shown themselves this season to be solid, pretty solid. They've also done what I believe that teams who set up defensively first and try to be robust absolutely need to do, which is they then sprinkle some exciting attacking players over that who can nonetheless work hard, but also give you a bit of magic, and they've got that. I think, not necessarily across their front four, but their front four are still pretty good. And I think what you can do is be seduced into thinking they're a defensive-minded unit and forget about those players that can actually hurt teams as well. Mm-hmm. However, having said, they should have beaten Aston Villa, 100%. Yeah. They should have. They had 20 shots in that game, 2 of them on target, which is ridiculous, but they should have won that game. Other than that, they've been pretty good. With the exception of the opening day, which was, again, an absolutely ridiculous refereeing decision, which meant they lost the game. They never should have. Liverpool's a different test, particularly away from home. You have to see how they start the game, whether they can frustrate Liverpool, make it difficult. Liverpool have shown themselves to be less than fluid going forward this season, despite their amazing results. So it's all there for them. If they can take it down to the trenches, drag Liverpool into deep water and make it the type of game Liverpool don't want, you can easily see why Isak will feel the pressure, because he'll probably start the game, and although his link-up play and his performance overall was okay, clearly he's not up there at that standard yet. Wirtz has been growing into games, but still found it difficult, not registered a goal or an assist yet. The pressure can start to mount up. So if Everton can make it difficult, it could be interesting. But that, I feel like, is a big if.
Yeah, well, that game's on telly over here. Later in the day, we've got another TV game, Vish, Manchester United hosting Chelsea. How about that? You going to be watching that, or are you going to be...
hiding in the basement?
Yeah, just doing something else.
Would you say
hiding in your basement, slagging off Angela Rayner? Is that what you're going to be doing?
Come on.
What?
You've been very political today, you are.
Me and Clipboard Keith.
Clipboard Keith, yeah. You keep hanging out.
Come on, Man United hosting Chelsea.
Blowing the froth of a couple of cold ones.
Clippy Keith.
Chelsea off
it
the
looks
back.
like you're writing a slur.
Chelsea off the back of a 3-1 loss to Bayern. Manchester United. Did they do one of those little midweek friendlies? Not been playing far away.
I just hope they stayed indoors.
Yeah, okay. But it's a chance yet again for Ruben Amorim to show that his players, they like him and they understand his tactics.
Yeah, it's also, I thought Chelsea had quite a harrowing game in Munich. So you wonder about, I suppose, the tax on that for them going into this game. It's quite an interestingly matched game on a number of fronts, not least because Chelsea feel quite freeform in a bad way, in that they see, the structure is clearly there, but it's not. They don't quite adhere to it. Whereas conversely, Manchester United are too structured, and Amorim being so set in his ways that he's unwilling to relent on his formation of three at the back and wing backs and whatnot. And you wonder what would win out here. I mean, obviously Chelsea, but I suppose how long will it take for Chelsea to beat Manchester United? And I do
Chelsea's record at Old Trafford is quite poor.
No, it's awful. But I mean, which is surprising actually, because if you think of the number of teams that have I suppose done well at Old Trafford over, since Ferguson, it feels like it should be that they should have at least got something somewhere.
I think they've won once at Old Trafford in 12 years.
Yeah, wow.
And that was in the FA Cup, I think.
But at the same time, I do wonder if Manchester United need to be. Certainly Amorim needs to focus a bit more on Chelsea's weaknesses rather than... It feels a lot of what Manchester United do is, they're basically through periods of just constantly rehearsing to play in this formation, but they do it in games and it doesn't quite work, and it doesn't matter what the other team does. They're just going to still play a certain way. And I would like to see Manchester United go out and try and get at Chelsea's weak points.
Yeah, I mean, the middle of the pitch is always a concern for Manchester United, and we're seeing...
Not the only concern.
No, but it's always a concern.
And we see how strong Chelsea are in that area.
Indeed,
as well,
and Cole Palmer is back at it. Obviously, he had a slight injury and fitness issues.
And that's good news for?
Not for Manchester United.
No.
But ultimately England, yes.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Good, get out of the way.
Good to get that in there,
I mean, the headache on Thomas Tuchel, I tell you what, my goodness. But, Cole Palmer looks the business, and this is the type of game where I understand Chelsea's record at Old Trafford hasn't been great and blah, 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 blah. But this is where, does Ruben Amorim, will he even plan to try and deal with Palmer? Or is it no, this is, is he too rigid? Because this game, Palmer could absolutely fill his boots. The freedom he'll have, you would have thought, on the pitch, the way he's playing back among the goals, and looks like he's got the bit between his teeth, Luke.
Yeah.
I would be worried if I was a Man United fan.
Well, Man United are dead under Amorim. They're just not fallen over yet, right? They're dead. We can have these discussions all we like, right?
Yeah.
And, Man United may even win a game here and there.
Oh, yeah.
But they're done. Under Amorim, they're done. There's nothing you can see about Ruben Amorim when in any way he conducts himself, either on the touchline in an interview. Obviously, don't see him at training, but I presume he's not turned into some kind of Winston Churchill type character at training based on what we see as the results. They're done. Ruben Amorim started as manager on the 11th of November 2024. Right? If they fire him in the first year, they've got to pay him 12 million, and they've already paid about that to Ten Hag. They don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
12th of November 2025.
He's off.
About 11 games in. They'll be in about 16th. They'd have just been obliterated by Spurs because that's the game they're playing before, and it's bang in the middle of the international break.
Ooh.
Well, so get your Tim 4 hat on because that's what's going to happen.
But the thing is, though, with
and then they'll get someone else in who'll happily take the job because the money will be massive.
Yes.
They'll be able to attract someone, even if it's just a firefighter type manager. And the whole thing will continue.
But they need a manager who's going to come in and go, right, what have I got to cook with here? Looks around, there's ingredients all over the place. And he thinks, well, I can only make a sort of a basic casserole, but it's going to taste a lot bloody better than what you've the shite that you've been munching on so far. So, so that's what I mean with someone like, say, Frank. I mean, look, Frank's at Spurs, but someone who just comes in and goes, right, let's play to our strengths. This is what I just, blimey, I've hit my microphone. I'm so animated. This is what I just don't get with this system. It's like, Amorim's clearly a good coach, and I think he'll go on to do good things in the game, and what he did at Sporting was impressive. But I just don't understand how this group of players can't play that system very well. When you have other managers, you can get players to play a different system every few days, maybe not radically different. It doesn't make sense.
I mean,
Amorim's counting the days, I'm telling you. He's counting the days for he can get out of there.
Well, I mean, after the Grimsby Town game, we came in here and I said that I think it's done. And this game will follow a similar pattern. Manchester United will start well. They'll be like, oh, Bruno might enjoy himself in that deeper role, and then I wouldn't be surprised if from that point it falls to pieces. But I hope it doesn't.
Well, sadly, one former Manchester United manager, certainly, in the near future, won't be returning to Old Trafford because Jose Mourinho is Benfica's head coach now.
I do kind of like this.
It's a dark day for the Ramble. I'm sorry.
I want him back here, but I do like it.
But do you not think, though, it's again, we want him back here, but when he comes back here, it is that a case of, what have we just wished? Careful what you wish for. So he's in a Champions League club, so he's back in the big leagues, which is good.
It's fucking bad news for West Ham. I saw this morning they've been linked with Slaven Bilic. I mean, honestly, that was in the Metro this morning.
Wow.
Well, look, and also Chelsea host Benfica on the 30th of September. So we're going to get that at least. But Mourinho said in his press conference, I have so many emotions, but experience helps me control them, which is a bit rich. But he also went on to say, I have coached the biggest clubs in the world. I made one wrong choice. I was wrong to go to Fenerbahce. It was not my cultural level. It was not my level in terms of football either. It was just not my level. Stop saying it's not your level.
Also, didn't Fenerbahce, his Fenerbahce side, get knocked out of the Champions League qualification by Benfica this season? Now he's gone to Benfica and now he's going to be in the Champions League.
Yeah, he did say he mourned the Bruno Lage leaving the job, and I thought a very brief tear, which was immediately wiped away.
The same way a mafia capo mourns the death of a boss when he knows he's about to elevate himself to the position.
I love it. I mean, when he said it wasn't my cultural level, it was not my level in terms of football either. It was just not my level. We might have to wait a bit longer until he goes to the Scottish Premiership. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no.
What's amazing is the cult of Mourinho, even we underestimated it because we said he'll get probably one or two more jobs. You could probably do a middling Premier League job. He could definitely. I mean, Marcus has been desperate for him to go to Rangers. I understand that.
That was Vish's suggestion.
But you both were on board with it, and you could see him
it was West Ham or Rangers.
But what I'm saying is, if Benfica's a massissive club, they've won the European Cup, right?
A long.
Sure, but they have, and not many clubs can say that in the grand scheme of things. Wow. And he's also had a history there himself. The fact that he can walk back into that job, I think is quite interesting. I don't know how big the cult of personality of him is in Portugal itself. I presume it's massive.
Has he still got the aroma of Porto on him, though? Because he did say he doesn't expect a huge reception from the Benfica fans.
Right. Because I kind of felt like if he was going to go back to Portugal, he'd go international. That was my feeling.
I'll give him
I wonder if that ship sailed.
No, I don't think so.
Because there is a sense that if you go and do that job, there is an ambassadorial side to it, and he just does not have that, evidently.
Yeah, true.
This is a nation who are fairly happy to stick with Carlos Queiroz for a while. We all know about him.
And what did he win?
Yeah. He went on loan to Portugal from Alex Ferguson.
Did he? Yeah. If you're Portugal manager,
Carlos, lovely to have you here. You just got a bit of on the side of your lip.
If you're a Portugal manager and you don't win the Nations League, although actually they might not have been competing in the Nations League when Queiroz was in charge.
No, he was. His big achievement with them was they were knocked out in the round of 16 in the 2010 World Cup.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I wouldn't say is par.
To Spain.
Yeah, but
we just got rid of the international football break. Why are we doing this?
Yeah. I know.
We've got proper juicy Prem to get into.
I gave you the chance to chin him in the first half, and you didn't want it. So now this is what you get.
I just didn't think you wanted to carry on talking about Man United and Chelsea, Vish. That was all. Well, look, anyway. Now, on Wednesday, let's go to something very, very different. We talked about Juan Mata interrailing around Australia. He's gone to Australia, and we thought he might like to interrail around Australia. Vish very sternly and defiantly said interrailing around Australia would be impossible. Well, Red World Traveller on X has replied, Interrailing Australia can be done, by the way. I got the train across Australia. It was 50 hours from Perth to Adelaide, 24 hours from Adelaide to Alice Springs, and just another 24 hours from up there to Darwin.
Yeah, sorry, I'll take it back, Redwood Traveller. You are correct.
It's the only way to get around Australia.
That's not interrailing, that's railing. Yeah.
He'd have probably taken the GAN.
The whole point of interrailing, for those who don't know,
Yeah.
is that you hop on and off trains throughout Europe and have a lovely old time.
A couple of hours in that city, maybe 3 or 4 more you're in there.
I don't think it's that enjoyable to do 50 hours in one go across a desert in baking heat.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, I mean, our listener and a friend, Red World Traveller, has said something and given us some information, and he's still given us absolutely no indication as to why he actually did this, because it seems like the most pointless thing ever. When you finish, you're in Adelaide. Great. Is that good?
Adelaide's nice.
Is it nice? Yeah.
Darwin,
have you been to all these places in Australia?
Yeah.
So you can tell us all about them.
Darwin is
Bit of a dust bowl.
awful. Yeah.
Yeah. You're actually going to Australia in a couple of months, aren't you?
Yeah. Adelaide's lovely. Perth, fine. So hot. Alice Springs, fine. So hot. Darwin, one of the hottest places on earth.
Right, literally.
Yeah, absolutely no need to go there.
Right.
Yeah, don't travel all the way there.
But
Certainly not on a train.
Yeah, but I'm sure it would have been enjoyable after his 98 hours on the train.
You're gagging to get out. I don't care where it is.
I don't care where I am now.
Exactly. It could be a cesspit, and I'd be happy to get off this damn train. Right, everybody, it's a huge day for the Luke Nation. Luke is taking on Vish, who is the lineal champion at My Biddy Aunt. That's happening later today.
My Biddy Aunt last week was one for the ages.
Well,
it was fantastic.
It was poor of me. I had, again, another sloppy error, but Luke won, and he will capitalise on sloppy errors, Vish. That's a little bit of...
I can't guarantee that.
That's a little tip for you. Don't make errors. So today's episode of My Biddy Aunt will be available later this afternoon, so make sure to subscribe to the Football Ramble in your podcast app so you do not miss it.